What's going on, everybody? My name is Matt and welcome back to Crypto Kings, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about whether or not Shiba Inu is going to break its all-time high record. Let's get right into it, folks. So if you guys haven't seen what's been going on here, folks, what we are looking at is essentially an absolute rejection of any and all market, related behaviors that are typical of crypto in general. So what we are watching is absolutely bonkers, and I've been talking about this in some of my previous videos, but what we're looking at here is obviously when it comes down to our all-time high, you guys can tell that it hit around 0.00004, and that basically has been, sort of the resting place for the entire day, of course, and with the absolute high being around 0.00044, which is amazing. So right now we are sitting just barely below that, and I want to talk about whether or not I think it is possible for SHIB to break its all-time, high run. And what's incredible about this is that you guys have noticed this little dip here, of course, was from Elon Musk's tweet. I talked about this in the previous video, but someone tweeted at Elon Musk saying, "Do you own any Shiba Inu?" And he said no. So that immediately sent the price down here to 32. Now, what this initially looked to be was just regular pullback, and voiding this, what we can tell is that in a situation like this where SHIB is highly inflated, we're going to see some downtrend, obviously, sort of predictable kind of this, and might see some heading down, and I could draw it a little bit better for you guys, but ideally you'll see a movement kind of like this. That is what happens when you have a asset that is so highly inflated, and you guys can tell it's highly inflated by the relative strength index. So of course you guys can see we're extremely inflated. Elon Musk tweet sends it down, and then obviously we are now pushing again the absolute boundary of the relative strength index, and what that is leaving us here with is basically being completely unknown, because what I would normally expect in a situation like this is, again, watching it after just roaring for the past few days, to have a little bit of a pullback, and that pullback would be natural. And again, you guys can see a little bit of a volley here. We have another volley like this, and then maybe another volley like this, and another volley like this, and finding some spot to level off. And that spot could be 3-3 or something like that. There are a lot of different spots here. Again, the 3-3 would match with that Elon tweet, so that would make sense. It is possible as well that we could see a line like 3-5, because again, it does have previous evidence of bouncing off of 3-5. So there are definitely some spots in which we could watch this bounce off, but that's not what SHIB is doing. But before I get into what SHIB is doing, if you guys have not already got going on Webull, guys, link down below in the description. It is so easy to do. Literally, it's the top link in the description. Take you 2 minutes to set up an account, and it's probably the quickest 15-20 bucks you guys will ever make. You get some free stocks by signing up. 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300. Some people have gotten lucky and gotten Apple, Facebook, some really lucky stocks just for getting signed up with my link down below in the description. And of course, if you guys enjoy the content, enjoy the channel, you like me, you want to support me, you guys can do that for free with the link down below in the description. But getting back to what I was saying, what we're looking at here, folks, is again a complete rejection of any normal market behavior. When we look at any other coin, obviously Ethereum can be one. We look at the past month, and again, it does have these periods of pullback, and I could probably illustrate this better here on TradingView with Ethereum. But when it comes down to it, any asset has a period of pullback, and if we go and take a look at, let's pick Bitcoin. We can pick anything. When we look at any asset like this, what we're noticing is, again, you'll see a surge, you'll see a high. This could be equivalent to what SHIB is doing right now. But then take a look. We watch it volley down, and, kind of reach a bottom here around 59, and then it kind of heads back up. So I basically said this is exactly what SHIB was, supposed to or going to do. You have a line of support, roughly 59.5 for Bitcoin, and that's what goes down. But again, Shiba Inu is being so defiant, and that's kind of what I'm trying to illustrate here. SHIB is being so defiant that, again, instead of having these volleys down like Bitcoin had, what SHIB is doing is completely breaking everything we know and pushing again towards its all-time high, which is just absolutely crazy. So again, what we are looking at right now is a volume that is about to break through the relative strength index, meaning that this buy volume, based on current market conditions, seems to be a little much. And again, it doesn't seem to care. Same thing if we are to check at the, we're going to check the Fibonacci retracement, of course, which I will show you guys here on screen. Let's take a look at the Fibonacci retracement for a second. The Fibonacci retracement lines are actually very similar to the lines I drew, but what you guys can tell by looking at this here is, of course, we have the very bottom of the run and the very top of this most recent run. And what this is saying is that essentially, yeah, we have our bottom here at around 32. This is the Elon tweet. And then we have obviously our high, which is around 41.5 on the day. And, ideally, in a situation like this, you would watch it kind of deflate down to the 61.8% loss line or the 78.6% loss line. But what it decided to do is instead, deflate down to the 38.2% line and just bounce off it again. It doesn't care. It bounced off the 38.2% line, which again, is extremely rare in a situation like this, especially when you're overinflated. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably thinking, okay, that's great and all, but where does SHIB go from here? Well, again, I honestly can't tell you 100% because this isn't behaving like any asset I've ever seen. But what I can say is that we have a few scenarios. What could happen is it could, again, kind of keep building up like this and just go parabolic again. And we saw this happen right over here. We're basically replicating the same exact instance we saw on the 23rd. So obviously on the 23rd, we watched it go from 26 all the way up to 33. We could basically watch the exact same thing happen now. We could watch this happen and then, again, maybe head straight up to 47 or maybe even 5. That's a potential scenario. What is another potential scenario is, again, it has now exceeded the top of the Fibonacci retracement, meaning it is even higher than that previous run here, and it could very well deflate down to any of these lines. So, it could level itself off at the 50% line, so the 50% decrease from the top of that run. So, could very well level off here, could level off at the 61.8% line, the 78.6% line, any of those lines it could level off, and then in the future bounce off of. So that is definitely possible that we see kind of a level off and a bounce like that, very possible. Or, in worst case scenario, the market decides, yeah, okay, SHIB's had enough, and it decides to fall through the Fibonacci retracement, leaving the, line of support kind of in question. But again, I wouldn't worry all that much because honestly, guys, even if, we lose these gains on the day, like I've been talking about, even if we lose these gains on the day, and let's say it decides, in a very conservative estimate, to land at around 32.2. Let's say 32.2 is the new line of support. Even if this is the case, all the people who bought all the way back here are still going to be extremely happy. You forget how far down, we really were. So all the people who bought here, and I think that's a lot of people, all the people who bought anywhere here are still going to be pretty happy when the new line of support, is established around 32.2. So again, I wouldn't worry all that much, guys. Again, there is a lot of potential for this token in the future, and obviously with the burn mechanisms in place and whatnot, I definitely do believe that there will be a very positive future for this, and I wouldn't worry all that much. So again, we have a line like this, 32.2. Worst case scenario, something around there. Again, obviously I'm not a financial advisor, just my personal opinions. But with that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more daily SHIB vids. My name is Matt. See you guys on the next one. Peace.